Had a great day today. My business partner John Brown was on Sirius XM radio with former PGA president MG Orinder, who runs Hampton Golf, and we've set up a little collaboration between our two companies. Really cool news. But I'm talking about some other stuff today. I'm digging deep into our free golf lesson marketing game plan for golf courses, and it's going to be a real disruptor in the industry. We're in conversations with country clubs right now, and I'd love to get your take on it. I think it's a total home run. I've never heard anybody that thinks otherwise, but if you've got some comments, I'd love to hear from you. Hope you enjoy this one, guys.
This is the Golf Essentials Podcast with Casey Borg.
So I put some pen to paper today on the free lesson program that we're talking about with our golf management company, and we believe that deploying golf lessons as a marketing tool for bringing new people out to golf and indoctrinating them into the culture at your club, getting them to figure out how to play the game, hit some shots, know where to go, how to go about the etiquette and the rules and basics of that. All that stuff takes time and takes many iterations, right? You got to get out there on a semi-regular basis, and at $100 a pop for a family, it's more than that. Just not in the cards. There's plenty of other things that people can be doing to recreate. And so our management company is really big on the free lesson thing as a marketing tool, as a gateway into the game. And I think that country clubs are really, really misusing that marketing asset that they have. And to be honest, I'm going to be putting my money where my mouth is. I'm working on a project right now where I'm going to actually do that at a local country club, and I'm going to basically set up a day where there's free golf lessons. I'm going to market it myself. I'm going to get all the registrations myself. I'm going to conduct the lessons myself, and I'm going to follow up myself, and I'm going to track what happens to these people, and whether or not they get hooked on golf or they end up spending money or doing other things at the club after that one day that I can get them out to the golf course. So I want to run it by you. I put pen to paper, and there is some real business logic behind the madness, and I think it's obviously best for the students to be able to come out there for weeks, months on end to get up to speed with golf free of charge. That's obviously a win. The golf course owners, I think you'll find, as I run through some of these numbers, are going to find that there are huge wins in terms of the long-term gains that can be had by bringing more bodies out to the club. And even the existing instructors at the facilities are going to win. And the reason for that is these free lesson programs are not intended to be high-tech, real deep dives into the golf swing and training. That's reserved for avid golfers. What this program is intended to do is to bring out people who wouldn't otherwise be considering golf. They might be doing other things, and they don't know that much about golf. They might have played it a long time ago, or they're beginners, or they're seniors that have injuries, and they're just, fading out. But so what we're talking about are sort of the fringes of the golf world. But once you get into it and you're full bore and you're looking to get going with the game, then sure, a little bit more deep dives into the golf instruction thing is going to make more sense to you. So we think that it is a no-brainer all around. So the basic premise, and this is what I'm going to be doing at this club here locally. So if you're in Orlando and you want to come out for some free golf lessons, keep an eye out for that. I'll let you know what's happening. But curious what you guys think about this. So picture a country club, and the interesting thing, they're gonna hire somebody, or it could actually be their membership director that goes about doing this. But it needs to be somebody that has at least cursory knowledge of golf instruction, because the lessons themselves are not going to be super technical. It's going to be basics, grip, stance, alignment, posture, right? And that person is going to be hired. And for the numbers that I'm using, I used a flat salary of $30,000. And the reason for that is that person is going to be teaching for 30 hours a week and doing follow-ups and marketing sort of stuff for the other 10 hours a week. So at 40 hours a week, they're actually going to have plenty of time to teach on the side and do other things to supplement that income. So the reason why it's only 30, and this is sort of in our marketplace. If you're in Manhattan, it's going to be different, right? Everybody's different. But so for here, just hypothetically, if it's a $30,000 salary, they can go and still do some playing. They can do some other teaching on an hourly basis and definitely supplement that. But the ideal candidate for something like this, picture somebody that is, maybe in their second year in the profession, they've done some teaching and they're just getting going, and they really want to do well in terms of justifying their value to the facility, and they're well spoken, they're well respected, they're personable, because this is more of a marketing position than it is a teaching position. The teaching is just an avenue for them to invite people out to the club and get them introduced. Okay, so they're on the lesson tee, and the lessons that they're giving are, and as we've outlined it, 30-minute sessions. So there's 12 of those a day, 6 hours on the lesson tee. And the sessions are based on, beginner type stuff, core stuff, basics, etiquette, rules, swing, stance, alignment, that stuff. All right, and each of those sessions, there would be online booking, which I'm going to build myself when I do it, and really no cap. It could be, I'll cap it at, say, 12 or 15 people per session. That's crazy that it would be 15 people per session all day, but you never know, right? It doesn't matter, right? If it's free, come on out and we're going to do a clinic. We're going to show you how to do it. We're going to get you a bunch of reps. We're going to walk the line and make sure you're doing it right. And we're going to set you up for next time. And that's what they're going to be doing for 6 hours a day. Like I said, the other 2 hours a day are going to be in follow-ups and reaching out and inviting new people back out to the club, that sort of thing. So people come out, they take these lessons, and so then the idea is, and what we call it is a conversion. So all these people are coming out, and we're finding them. If everybody at the club knows that there's free golf lessons to be had, and basically 5 days a week or every day of the week, if they do it, great. But everybody, all the staff members, they all know that free lessons exist, so they're all charged with finding people. If you see a family that looks like they would enjoy playing golf, if you see somebody at church or at the supermarket or at a baseball game or whatever, you can literally just invite them to come out to take some free golf. Like, hey, have you guys ever tried golf? You can come out and take a golf clinic every week for the next 4 months until you get going, and come on out to the club. It's going to be pretty easy to get people out there, right? So we got people coming out, and the idea of these lessons is not to hard sell anything. So we're giving the lessons away without expectation. We're not, following up with a bunch of car sales pitches, because that's going to turn people off. That's going to kill the word of mouth, right? We want it to be a wonderful experience, an open, welcome mat to come in and play golf for free, no questions asked. Now, we recognize that a big number of the people are going to come out, and there could be people that abuse the system. There could be people that don't ever spend a dime playing golf, and that's fine. So that gets us into the numbers and the return on investment. So how does that work? So it starts out with what is the value of a quote-unquote customer at a facility? So that's going to be very different. So if you're a high-end private club, versus, the municipal or public course, it's going to be very, very different numbers. Now, the math that we used is pretty much for an average public golf course. Okay, so let's picture a public golf course that does 30,000 rounds a year, moderately busy club, and they do $2 million in gross revenue. So if you know, give or take, that the average customer plays 10 times a year, that means we've got 3,000 customers, right? 30,000 rounds, 10 times a year, that's 3,000 customers. If you divide the number of customers by the gross revenue, or vice versa, divide it into the gross revenue, that works out to $667 of annual gross revenue that's attributed to each customer you have. And that's an important number. So every new customer that we have is worth $667. And if you dig a little deeper, and that's a real simplified way of going about it, I get that. But if you dig deeper into the numbers, you can look at your retention rates. Like, how long are these people sticking around? What percentage of your membership or your customer base is rotating out every year? You know what I mean? And the numbers we use, let's say the average customer sticks around for 4 years. So the math is really simple. The total lifetime value of each new customer is about $2,700. So, like I said, that's a very simple representation, but in principle, you got a ballpark number, and you start to understand, okay, each of these new customers in the long term is worth a lot more than the $100 that you're charging per hour for one of these guys. And by the way, if you're a golf course owner, if your instructors are charging $100 an hour, chances are you're only charging the instructors 10 or 20% max for the use of the facilities. So for each golf lesson, the club is only making $20 or $10, and that's on a $100 rate. I know a lot of rates are much less than that. So that's really problematic. And you're not getting that many bodies out there and having that many at-bats to win people into the club. So free golf lessons get a lot more people out there. And on the back end, we know that the value of those new customers that we're creating is worth a lot more than the flat rate that an instructor might be charging, especially since that money is going directly to the instructor and has nothing to do with the facility. Okay? So now we got our lifetime value and our annual values of each of these new customers. Now let's talk about converting them into new customers. So let's say we've got a group of people that comes out, and I'm going to say in a very, very conservative thing, especially at a public golf course, where we're going to define a conversion as someone who becomes a customer of the club in some way. So that means they sign up for some other program, they buy some stuff, they get some advanced lessons, they go and play golf, or they go and eat and drink and spend a little money in the restaurant, stuff like that. You can establish whatever definition you want. But, that's the definition of converting, okay? So I'm using a very, very conservative number that our conversion rate for this public golf course is going to be 5%. That's crazy, right? So that's really low. I know we can do a ton better than that, and I'm going to prove it when I do it myself. But let's say 5%. So that's 1 out of 20 people that come out actually turns into a customer. So that means you're doing a golf clinic or multiple clinics, 20 people that are out there, 19 of them are completely freeloading, not spending a dime at your facility, right? So don't get bent out of shape if people are coming out and they feel like they're milking the system. Don't let that interfere with the big picture. If you understand the numbers, that stuff doesn't matter so much. Obviously, if somebody's blatantly abusing it, then you might mention something to them, but don't sweat it, because what you want is people to feel welcome and to come out, and you don't know what kind of pace, what kind of how many iterations they need to be convinced, like, hey, this is something that I could really do and I could step it up and I can go play, right? So 19 out of every 20 people leave and don't ever spend a dollar. But that one we know is worth $667 for that year and $2,700 for their lifetime at the club. Now that is really cool to know, okay? So that's really cool because our instructor is teaching 12 30-minute lessons a day, and we're talking 5 days a week. You could do it more. Now, 5 days a week, 12 lessons a day, okay? So each of these lessons, like I said, is not individual lessons. These are, we're promoting these as group lessons. There could be 10 people in a session. There could be a family of 4, 2 kids and the mom and dad. But I'm using the math that each of these 30-minute sessions, we're only able to get 2 people on average. So that's fairly meager, and I think everybody would agree that that's going to be pretty easy to do, especially on a free basis. So that's 24 golfers a day coming out. That's 12 sessions, 2 people per session, 24 golfers a day. I rounded that number down to be even more conservative. So $20 for the day, and just to make it even numbers. All right, so let's say we get 20 golfers coming out. Now, I get it. Half those people are going to be recurring people, right? So they might be coming back for their second lesson, third lesson, fourth lesson. And so that 20, let's turn it into 10 in terms of newcomers. So there's 10 newcomers a day. And so now we're talking about, for every 20 that we bring out to the club, 20 newcomers, I'm talking. And I'm talking newcomers. I'm not talking about the repeat people. But for 20 newcomers that come out, that breeds 1 new customer. We already talked about that, right? That's our 5% conversion rate. 19 of them are a virtual waste of time, and that's cool. It's not a waste of time. We could get into that. But, okay, so that means every 2 days, we're bringing out 20 newcomers, which means 1 new customer every 2 days, 2.5 new customers every week. Okay? So 2.5 new customers every week, 10 new customers every month, and 120 every year. Following all this math? Trying to keep it simple. I know we're on the radio, so but if you can picture the math, we got 20 people coming out. We're only getting, for every 20, we're getting 1 new customer. We're getting 2.5 new customers a week, 10 a month, 120 per year. So if you annualize that out, on an annual basis, we're creating $80,000 in gross revenues for the club at our $667 number. But in terms of the lifetime value that we're generating, right? So this year worth of activity, this guy teaching 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, right? 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, free golf lessons, is generating a total gross revenue increase of $320,000 for this facility, based on the numbers that we just talked about in terms of annual and average lifetime value on a very modest facility. A $2 million gross revenue facility is not a big club at all. It's a very small, average public club. Okay, so there's our math. So doing all this activity, we can very conservatively generate $80,000 in the current year and $320,000 over the course of the lifetimes of those new customers that we just created. Now, on the expense side, like I said, we're spending $30,000 on this person. So the return on investment happens very quickly. We're spending $30,000 in the first year. In the very first year, our math is computing that we're bringing in $80,000 in gross revenues and $320,000 in total revenues over the lifetime of all those new customers. So for a $30,000 spend, again, consider it a marketing spend. This is not a teaching position. This is a marketing position. Think of it as an advertisement. Think of it, you're throwing, if you could throw 30 grand at a billboard and know for a fact that it's returning 80 grand, right? For every 30 grand you put into this machine, 80 grand gets spits out the other side. Actually, it's more like 30 grand in the machine, 320 comes out the other side. And I recognize there's a capacity at these clubs. So creating 120 new customers every year, there's a finite number that you can get to. But that's a 10x on your marketing spend. 10x return on your marketing spend. You'd be hard-pressed to find that anywhere. And these are, again, super, super conservative numbers, right? And if I'm wrong, guys, like, message me. But it's a complete no-brainer. So, bottom line, we're talking about bringing new blood out to the club, doing it for free, allowing them to learn the game, to feel comfortable in the game, to meet people, and to become indoctrinated at your facility at their pace. Okay? It's not come out for a golf clinic and then be pressured into signing up for some league or some bullshit seminar that's going to cost them $400, right? They can continue doing this for free as long as they want. Now, the programming, again, is fundamental. It's basic, right? We're covering the simple stuff, and let them linger there. They're going to love it. They're going to invite their friends, and there's going to be a few of them that step up and move into the club and start spending money, and they're going to pull the others with them, right? So that's what we're doing. That becomes a feeder system for the instructors that are already there. So they're loving it. It's free marketing for them. It's a feeder system for every area of your club, and it's solving this problem of, filling that void of members that are either aging out or leaving the club on a year-over-year basis. And these are quick wins. I mean, you can generate these customers in a matter of weeks getting this thing started, and it's really a no-brainer. Some of the hidden stuff that's really cool about this is that the culture at your club is going to change. Okay? The culture of the car salesman, hard sell, upselling, everything costs money here, if you don't like it, leave sort of stuff, that goes away. Everybody at your club, assuming they're trained properly in how to go about this, is going to understand that this is a long-term game. The only thing we care about is being welcoming, being friendly, being accommodating for new people. Get them into the free lesson program. Let them linger there as long as they want with their family, their friends, and if they're milking it, recognize we only need 1 out of 20. It's such a small number, and the numbers really work. By the way, the numbers really work for private clubs where you're charging, the average customer value moves to $20,000, $50,000 more, right? I get it. Some of the high-end clubs probably don't do this stuff, but every club's different, so you got to figure that out, and we're using super conservative numbers here. So the culture of the club becomes more accommodating and friendly and customer service, and people are inviting people out who wouldn't otherwise be considering golf, and you're getting that fresh blood where people are excited about learning and playing and meeting one another, and it is an absolute home run. So that's it. That's the nuts and bolts of the free golf lesson program that KPI Golf is all about. That's a real founding principle of our company. It's the whole basis of my set of beliefs in terms of delivering you guys content and helping you with your games. I just believe that, giving the good stuff away helps to build brand and helps to build relationships. And if I'm off base, I would love, love to hear from you guys. If you think it's right on, I welcome you to share it, pass it along. Maybe you've got some golf courses in your neighborhood or people that you know of that are at clubs that are worried about the survival of the club, and they're not sure what's going to happen in their communities. My parents had a club go away in their community, and I can tell you it's devastating when clubs go away. And this is a hidden thing. No clubs are doing it like this. And as our company, we're in conversations with a few country clubs now, and as our company gets rolling, we're going to be doing this. And trust me, this is going to really reverberate throughout the golf industry, because it is an absolute no-brainer, unless I'm really missing something big. But I've had a lot of conversations with people and haven't heard anything negative about it just yet. But look out for it. We're going to deploy it. If you're in north side of Orlando area in the coming few weeks, reach out to me, because I'll have you out and you can participate in some free lessons. So hope you found that helpful, guys, and reach out anytime. Cheers.